Was that live?
It's perfect.
Was that the intro?
That was the intro.
Welcome to Frank Just Crapped His Pants show.
What's up? As everybody can see, Kevin's back.
Yep.
And he still lives in the shadows, apparently, according to this monitor here.
I like it like that.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I can't figure it out. I think we need more lights in here.
Maybe it just brings out my soul color.
Look, if you look at the sky cam, that light is like in your face, and it's still dark.
It's the color of my soul.
I don't know what to do. But,
Speaking of that,
yes.
did you know if you die, they can cremate you and then use your ash to make a stone, and depending on the person is what color stone you come out as? Like they put you in a diamond press? I would definitely be opal.
Is that for real, though, or can they make you whatever color they want?
I don't know. They could probably make you whatever color, but you'll create a natural color.
I don't buy it.
Well, that leads us into the next section of the video, which is another conspiracy theory that we'll see if you buy. Did you do any research?
Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot of research.
So, in other words, you did nothing.
I did nothing.
You're good at this.
Yep. No, I didn't. Look. The topic is Bigfoot.
For the first topic.
First topic.
It's conspiracy theory part 2.
Yeah, conspiracy theory part 2, Bigfoot. I have my own opinion on Bigfoot. I don't know. What do you got?
I got this. So, supposedly, and of course I have no notes because I forgot my computer in the car and I'm not going to go get it. So, I'm going to go by memory.
That's fine.
But there used to be a very tall ape, supposedly 7-8 foot tall, that used to live in, I want to say, China, right? And that ape, they do have evidence of, it did exist, and it most likely, like a lot of apes, walked upright. So it could have been the real original Bigfoot, right?
Gigantopithecus.
Yes. So how tall did they say it was? I want to say it was 7 or 8 foot.
All right, so this is where my issue is on the whole thing. All right, we're getting right into it. This is where my issue is. Gigantopithecus was a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It 100% was a real thing.
That was Bigfoot.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no Bigfoot.
Here's why there could be.
So there is no Bigfoot. It's a Gigantopithecus.
Right.
There's no Bigfoot.
But think about this.
Damn it.
But think about this. So dodo birds we knew exist, right?
Yes.
Well, what's to say that one of them suckers didn't go off to some other island somewhere where nobody lives, and then one day we find a whole nother island full of dodo birds? Because up until that point, nobody thought dodo birds existed anyways, until they found that set of dodo birds.
Well, you do understand the whole theory on how, because most of the Bigfoot sightings here in the U.S. are like what?
Drunk hillbillies.
But were they more like Midwest? Like, where are they?
Oh, no.
Oregon.
They're all over the place. Wherever there's rednecks is where there's Bigfoot sightings.
So people are like, well, if you look at the map, how does Chinese Gigantopithecus get all the way to, the west coast of the United States? And the answer is simple. What do they used to call the world before it all broke apart?
The world before it broke apart?
Yeah.
I
the
don't...
show before the show.
No.
It was one big continent, right? What Pangea?
It wasn't the Bering, I forget. But anyways,
whatever the hell
there was
it was
a land bridge that connected this side of
right.
the world to the other side of the world, and that's where they think that if that would have shown up, that's why. Gosh, is it going to be like that the whole episode?
I had pizza.
Just to let you know, if you didn't hear that, I think it picked it up. He is farting his brains out.
The idea is Gigantopithecus probably came from the whole Canada area, if when all the continents were connected, right? And that's how there are.
Well, no, it came from Asia.
No, but like up through Canada, came down into the U.S.
Well, and that's the thing is there's a lot of undeveloped land in the Midwest.
Yes.
There's also a lot of drunk rednecks that claim they see these things. I'll be devil's advocate. I do believe they existed. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they did exist. They just weren't they weren't Harry from the Hendersons.
Yes.
So, which by the way, I love that movie.
But couldn't a Gigantopithecus have banged like a regular gorilla?
I would think so, but interspecies stuff doesn't really make much. for the most part, unless it's like a mule.
Right. But I guess what I'm getting at is, so that we're talking about like the ancestor of
A human.
big apes. You get what I'm trying to say? So, like, whatever. You could have had a weird off-breed of one of these animals.
Segue, real quick.
What
I
do you
heard
got?
something very eye-opening. To the people that say we evolved from apes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That believe in evolution. Everything else that has evolved, where is its ancestor? Gone, because it evolved. So why is there still apes if we evolved? I want to know that answer.
That's my point.
Yeah, so it could... listen, there's a gator now that probably evolved from a long form of a gator back then.
And eventually
But there
that
ain't no
dies out.
original gator.
Right, and there's no more of that gator reproducing.
Right, and there's no megalodons from sharks that got smaller.
They're not coming back. They're not... Exactly. Now, okay, so the great white could be the ancestor of Megalodon. Could it not?
Right, just
Right.
like the ape could be
But two
Bigfoot's
great
little
whites aren't going to
cousin.
fuck and all of a sudden have an 80-foot-long baby.
Right.
It's not happening. That evolutionary trait is gone. So, but gorillas, apes, chimps are producing more gorillas, apes, and chimps on a daily basis.
They're not evolving to humans.
They're not evolving to humans.
Right.
I don't see, look, I don't see two silverbacks giving birth to Tywin Lannister.
Possible.
Or Tyrant, which was the midget?
That.
Tywin.
Yeah.
No, Tywin's the dad. Tyrion.
I don't know.
Tyrion. I'm sorry.
I call him the little guy.
I don't know why I had that kind of mental fart. But yeah, there's no two silverbacks giving birth to little blonde head Tyrion Lannister.
They do claim that they found hair samples of a Bigfoot that are, being analyzed or whatever, and they do believe they found some in the United States. Now, to sit here and say that there never was any in the United States, I'm sure there was. If they were in China or wherever they were at, they probably a couple of them made their way over here. To think that Bigfoot never existed, I think, is foolish because it did. Just like to say that megalodons never existed,
Okay.
they did.
But you have to clarify, though, what Bigfoot is. Is Bigfoot this mystical beast that nobody can find, or is Bigfoot Gigantopithecus?
It's that.
Okay.
But I'm saying there still might be some that are around.
I don't know, that's tough. Then why wouldn't they be anywhere else?
They had some animal of some sort, and I forget exactly what it was. They thought it was extinct, and they found two of them recently.
So ocean stuff, I really 100% think that's possible.
This was a land animal, and I can't remember what
the
it
ocean's
is.
so damn big that there could be stuff in there hidden that we've never seen. Could Megalodon be in there? Maybe. Highly doubt it. An animal that big. But, could there be two small fish that we've never seen before?
Oh, I'm sure.
There's got to be, right? But I guess my point with that is, if Bigfoot is really Gigantopithecus, then yes, it 100% existed. I don't believe it's still around.
It's kind of like if you found a raptor.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden a raptor pops out of the woods.
Dinosaurs are still around?
Yeah, well, they are. They're just gators.
Well,
Lizards. Out of all those crazy animals, right, that were well suited for the times, the gator, the dumbest animal on the planet, is the one that made it.
yeah.
They're so stupid.
How?
Like people that listen to us that aren't from Florida, don't know a lot about gators. They are the most ignorant animal on the
You
planet.
think it's because they're cold-blooded and they, froze?
I don't
and
know.
somehow were able to thaw out?
Wasn't there fish that freeze in lakes and they just stay frozen until
That's
it
true.
unthaws and
I
then they're
think
alive?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fish that can live out of water for weeks. It has a very primitive lung. They call it an alien fish.
You know what? I think I did see that.
Yeah.
I saw that on a Netflix show, I think.
They're freaking weird.
They're not the same ones that skip across the mud?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a catfish a little bit.
Yeah, but they have this weird, fat gut,
Yeah.
and they skip. Yeah, that's interesting.
But that's my whole point is stuff like this comes up all the time that people don't know existed because we're only scraping the surface on our own planet and knowing about it. And they find new stuff all the time. All the time. And I can't, like I said, they did find that animal that they thought was extinct and is still alive.
All right. So it says that a lot of the, most of the sightings, right, or the associated areas of Bigfoot are the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia. So
Which would put them right at the land bridge.
the land bridge. I mean, is it possible that there's still a giant ape like that? I mean, it's possible. I think anything's possible. There's just not many of them. Like, I don't know. Like, if you went to, okay, so the Congo, apparently, there's a lot of gorillas that live in the Congo.
There is people that are living in the Congo that have never seen other people.
Correct.
To this day.
Correct.
Like that helicopter that flew over them, you can see them looking up, and they're like, "What the heck is?" And they're probably thinking that's God. I just saw God, and it has a propeller. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, they don't know what the fuck they're looking at.
They've never seen any electricity or anything, and they see a helicopter fly over.
So I do think that that's possible. That there is some, you know, I don't know, some. What do you call it? It's not an ancestor, right? The older one would be your ancestor. So what are you? There's some species of, you know, a giant ape that maybe is very territorial, so you're not going to see a lot of them. Maybe there's only like 10 of them. You get what I'm trying to say? In all of the world. So yeah, how are you going to run into this thing, especially if it's living out in the, you know?
Here's my devil's advocate to this, because I wouldn't be surprised if Bigfoot did exist. Not at all. I mean, it's just a big animal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they make Bigfoot out to be like this person that is humanoid. It's not. It's just a monkey, just like the rest of them. If we found it, that's what I believe it would be. But devil's advocate side of this is there are so many hunter's cams now that are 4K that people are strapping all over the woods for hunter purposes, and they haven't caught this thing. Like, either it's smarter than we are, which I highly doubt if it existed, or...
Bigfoot can only be caught on like 360p.
Yes.
That's it.
Patterson film.
Yes. But with like the worst internet lag ever.
So Patterson died and claimed that it was real all the way to the end. The buddy that was with him, you watched that film, right?
Mm-hmm.
The buddy that was with him said either Patterson was lying and was doing a joke on him too, or it was real because Patterson sold it if he was selling it like it was real. So, you know, Patterson, the one that did the film or whatever, he said that he thinks it was real, but he doesn't know. And, you know, people have analyzed that and said it's either a humongous ass person that's like 8 foot tall.
So if you're watching at home, you can't see this, but Kevin, look at the monitor.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have long arms like that because I'm like Neanderthal body. But those are pretty dang long arms. If that thing's arms went straight down, it's almost to his freaking kneecap. You see that? Like, that's abnormal.
So it is, right? But who's to say that those have to be real arms? Like, if you look at the face, that opening is like a ninja mask opening. That means that this is an old version of some sort of a furry monkey suit. And literally, like, those arms, they could be completely unusable arms. Part of the costume.
Yeah, but they also show the bottom of his foot. And the bottom of his foot, it would have had to be a very elaborate outfit because they took the foot into consideration that it had pads.
I mean, the moon landing was pretty elaborate.
Yeah, because it was definitely faked. But that we already did.
We're done.
But... No, it and there's other films too. Like there's one that looks like a mange bear that isn't exactly sitting like a bear, which I think that it's a monkey, like an actual orangutan, is what that video is. I think they try to say that it's a little Bigfoot, but I don't think it's a little Bigfoot.
What the hell is that? No, that's like a CGI thing.
That's just stupid. No, there's another video. There's a couple of them. There's one that was shot by a forest ranger. And he supposedly sees them, but it's not, like, very good. I don't know. I think that, like I said before, it existed, and if it popped up in the wild, just it had been reclusive all this time, wouldn't surprise me. But I do think it's funny that the people that always are chasing after him are the biggest rednecks you ever seen. They're like,
Always.
I thought this
Yeah.
was what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and it doesn't help them any.
No.
You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything for them.
No, and the show Finding Bigfoot kills me because they always act like they're going to find him at the end. Dude, if you found him, I'd have seen it on the news.
Yeah.
Like, we know you're not going to find this thing. And you
Yep.
know there's people who are like, they're going to find him this week, Jimmy. They going to find him.
I mean, you know, I'm looking at these things now, like some of these pictures of Gigantopithecus, like what they say, like his size would be. Look, I mean, if he was a real being, I honestly think that that's what he was. Maybe it was just the last, because when's the last Bigfoot sighting? Like legit Bigfoot sighting.
Recently, Billy Bob or whatever his name is, the Bigfoot hunter guy. He's claimed to have seen him several times.
Does he make money off the show?
Yes.
And then he did not really see them.
Well, supposedly some guy has a frozen Bigfoot in a cooler somewhere.
Well,
Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff. All I know is the Patterson film. Pretty remarkable. The other Forrester film, and I don't know what it was called, but that one, pretty good as well.
dude, that's a monkey foot.
Well, I'm sure there's a big market for fake freaking cast of Bigfoot feet when you go up there.
Yeah, there's got to be.
I bet you could get a pretty $20 off of a cast of a fake Bigfoot. We should start selling them.
Fake Bigfoot?
With ordinary guy stickers on them.
Yeah, ordinary Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But it's not the size of the foot that matters. I don't know, dude. So this is one of those, I don't want to play the PC, be on everybody's side kind of thing. I don't want to. But look, it is possible that there was something that we're calling Bigfoot, which is, we both agree, is probably Gigantopithecus.
Yeah.
Right? We're just calling it Bigfoot, which means that it's, not a mystical thing. It was a living thing that there's proof that there was.
Would you be surprised if a saber-toothed tiger popped up? I wouldn't. They lived.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, damn, that's pretty freaking cool that it made it.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise you.
No, because, the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a tiger is not too far off.
No.
Just like them, the talks about them being able to bring back the mammoth because the genes of the elephant are so damn close.
Them
right?
things look like they stink like hell.
Mammoths?
Yes. Because
Like
elephants
sweaty,
stink.
dirty.
Terrible. So then you take a big sponge and you put it around them and that hair.
Yeah, it's gross.
So you got elephant turd dingleberries going on.
That'd be a dingleberry that'd knock you out.
It'd be a softball dingleberry.
Be huge.
Ugh.
So look, I think it's Gigantopithecus, but I don't think people have seen it. I think they've seen traces of, right? Traces of. Meaning, is it possible that a footprint lasted hundreds of years? Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe, especially in an area that's not populated.
We should go on a Bigfoot hunt.
Fuck that.
I hate camping. It's not going to work out.
I'll do it for like a couple days.
Unless Bigfoot comes and says hello at the local Marriott in Oregon, I ain't going to see him.
I think that, I don't know, just looking at a picture, and they had a picture of like Thanos as Bigfoot. Whatever.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I still haven't seen that. Well,
so okay.
I think we've wrapped it up. I think that Bigfoot, out of 1 out of 10,
you see that one?
That he still exists today. Yeah.
That's
1 out
very
of 10 that
man-like.
he's still. I wouldn't want to see that thing.
No.
Because you know how strong a goddamn orangutan is, and they're short. They will mess you up.
Hey,
They
speaking
ate
of which,
that lady's face off.
anybody see those like hairless chimps? You ever
No.
seen a hairless chimp? Oh my god! You keep talking about Bigfoot. I'm gonna show you a hairless chimp. Hold on.
That sounds like a porn name. The hairless chimp.
The hairless chimp. A hairless Bigfoot popped up, dude.
Have you seen... What was it said? Have you seen this hairless or something? Oh, Chewbacca. Have you seen the hairless Chewbacca picture? Like, once you see it, you'll never unsee it.
Look, that's a hairless chimp.
Looks like it's just got mange.
No, they're I don't know why some of them are hairless.
Look up hairless Chewbacca. Show them that.
Hold on. I'm trying to show you the muscles on some of these things, dude.
Oh, they lift like
Look at
6
that.
times their weight.
Besides that big old nutsack down there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. They'll
Dude,
mess you up.
Look at that muscle.
They will mess
That dude
you
does
up.
curls all day long.
And look at their hands.
Yeah.
They got the hands of Shaquille O'Neal.
I think that's a dude.
Oh, my God.
Is that a nutsack?
Why do we always go with that direction?
I don't know. It looks like a...
You need to look up hairless Chewbacca.
Hairless Chewbacca.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, to the listening audience, get on YouTube. You got to see hairless Chewbacca because it will change your whole life. You'll never see him the same. It's the second picture over.
This one?
Yep. You'll never see him the same again.
Nope.
That's shaved Chewbacca.
Big old cat.
Ugly looking thing.
All right. So
do you believe or do you not believe? Believing is a 10, not believing is a 1.
okay, but what's the definition of believing?
10 is you believe this table is in front of you.
And 1 is I'm looking at this table and saying that it's not here?
1 is there's no table.
Okay. 10, that there was a Gigantopithecus.
I'm there too.
So if we're calling Bigfoot and Gigantopithecus the same thing, then a 10 that there was a Bigfoot. As far as people in the modern day, and I mean modern day like my grandparents' generation and younger, saying that they've seen Gigantopithecus, like alive.
I have a crazy friend that says he did, by the way.
Alive, I don't believe it.
I don't either because he's a freaking drug addict.
Alive, I don't believe it. So I don't believe. Again, you know those. I'm not saying those stories, right? But it's like people find an arrowhead, especially we're in Florida. You can find arrowheads and stuff like that, right?
They find them in my backyard.
Well, they find an arrowhead, and now all of a sudden their backyard was the scene of this battle that nobody knew about. You get what I'm trying to say? Like that's the thing. And they're like, no, there was like 150 people here, and they had this big fight. How the do you know that? You found an arrowhead.
I don't know.
But you get what I'm trying to say? So I think it's the same concept in that they found the remnants of a Gigantopithecus, and they maybe saw a bear in that same area, and it all just kind of came together. And they're like, oh, no, definitely. I saw this thing right over there 2 weeks ago.
Listen, there's been times where I've been drinking enough to where I thought I saw Jesus. So anything's possible.
Well, we need to see Jesus for sure.
Yeah. This show needs to just be shut down by Jesus.
It does. But he hasn't zapped us yet, so we'll keep rolling with it.
So, I give it a 3 that he still exists today.
Jesus?
Jesus, I give a 10. I always give Jesus a 10. So.
Sorry, I'm choking on pizza.
No, 3. Because, I mean, it's kind of likely that sucker walks out of the woods into a Walmart one day and doesn't know where he's at.
3 that he exists today?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say a 1 because any freaking thing is possible, right?
Did you see that picture? Or it's not even a picture, it's a video where this boat in like Fiji or something, it's an island, he's got these weird ass monkey things on it, and they're all like swaying and like singing this song together. It's freaking weird. You'd have to, it's going to be hard to find it. It was hard for me to find it to show it to Morgan. Very odd. But, point is, that monkey had never been discovered before. They found it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, things are possible. Look, could there be an ancestor of Gigantopithecus still around? Possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. Maybe not, like, as big, or who knows? Maybe it is
it's
as big.
Shaquille O'Neal.
It's Shaquille.
The biggest son of a gun I ever saw in my life.
Shaquille is a Gigantopithecus.
Yes, he's humongous. And if they did find a giganto, whatever you call it, you know damn well it could dunk a basketball.
Sure.
Like, badass, too.
Anything that's that tall can dunk a basketball. Fuck, I'm obsessed. Not, like, obsessed, but I can look at monkey pictures for a long time. They are very creepy-looking things.
Well, they're scary.
You know the biggest baboon I've ever seen is?
No. You have a thing for baboons?
No, dude, they're so weird. Like, why do they just have, like, the
red butt?
Yeah. Was, like, no hair. Completely shiny.
Like, why did God say...
Well, evolution was like, look, dingleberries suck.
I think we just proved evolution is bullcrap.
Yeah. Look, I think things evolve, right? I do think that things evolve.
Yeah, because we have these teeth, the freaking canine teeth.
Yeah.
Because we used to have to rip meat.
And I think at some point, they'll eventually kind of work their way out. does that mean that somebody, like, okay, let's just say they work their way out, and 100 years from now, nobody's born with canine teeth. Does that mean that somebody down the road won't be born with canine teeth? It's very possible. Those genes are still there. You get what I'm trying to say? Those genes are still there. They're just not dominant genes anymore. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. But, you know, evolution has just made it more efficient. But because because we don't need to tear into raw meat anymore, so we don't need the canines, right? Does that mean that we're just going to start turning into giraffes? You get what I'm trying to say? Because we don't... You know what I'm trying to say? We're not evolving to a different species.
Hey, listen, nobody knows. That's the whole thing. No one knows. But, so, did we even say what we're going to talk about for the second one?
I don't think so.
Well,
all right.
I think a lot of people believe in the second one, and I don't at all. And I don't know if Frank's going to ever find what he's looking for. But, oh, he brought it up. So, I'm going to say our second part is Chemtrails. For those of you listening that believe in chemtrails, we are going to have a discussion on how I believe that is total bullcrap. So
you don't believe in chemtrails
no,
at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not even after researching it and sitting there and watching videos of people swearing that the government is trying to pollute us with borium or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't remember.
But I'm going to play... Okay, so can you... Okay, I'll pull this up on Wiki real quick. And I'm just reading this right off of Wiki because I'm giving you guys a definition for those of you who don't understand the chemtrail conspiracy. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is based on, well, I'm not going to say that word, is based on the belief that long-lasting condensation trails, or chemtrails, consisting of chemical or biological agents left in the sky by high-flying aircraft, sprayed to nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public, essentially meaning that you fill in the blank. Big Brother, the government, the Russians, somebody is basically dosing us with chemicals so that...
aluminum,
whatever.
borium, and something else.
Yeah. So, my very quick take on that is kind of the same with everything else that we've done conspiracy theory-wise. Have they ever sprayed those things up in the sky? Probably. For whatever fucking purpose they thought it was going to do something, right? Does that mean that they're doing that to brainwash people or control people? I don't think so.
Some people believe the aluminum's up there so that it can be magnetized, which, by the way, I didn't think aluminum was magnetic.
Oh, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. So that kind of ruins that theory. But anyways, so people believe that it's for mind manipulation and for population control and all sorts of reasons. But here's the thing. First off, we all know condensation at that height with hot jet fuel burning and the fact that the air up there is freezing cold, that is going to create a steam-like effect. That's what it's doing. And if you're up there and it's, 30,000 feet above your head, because that's where they're flying on a clear day, you're going to see those trails.
Didn't Rogan have a chemtrail guy on one time? And I felt like one of the things he was talking about was what they are spraying up there was actually, like, the scientific reasons behind it was, like, super valid. Had something to do about creating somewhat of a barrier for something like that. It was either for condensation or whatever. But the idea was it's like,
knocking down the UV rays from the fact that our solar system, or not our solar system, what is it?
Ozone layer.
Ozone layer is depleting. It can knock down on the UV or something.
Yeah, so they're saying that so kind of like the way greenhouse gases, are creating or raising the temperature, right? Is that kind of what they're saying?
Except that's not happening either.
But the idea is it's like they're bouncing off the ozone layer and reflecting back. So what they're doing is creating some sort of a like a mesh so that, condensation or whatever the deal is, like, bounces back. Is a lot of this stuff happening? Maybe, I'm not a scientist, but I don't see why, they experiment on everything else in the world. Like, why not experiment the effect of certain things, in the sky?
Because it's much easier to dose people in their water.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to say experiment with
You're
dosing.
not going to do it in the plain vision of the people.
Right, I'm not saying experiment with dosing with people, but experimenting like what happens when you do this. You get what I'm trying to say? What happens when you spray that up in the air?
Yeah, but do you realize the amount of people that would have to be involved and not tell?
Right, I'm not trying to say that that is happening as a conspiracy. I'm trying to say is I'm a scientist and I study the effects of various gases in the sky.
Well, and that's the other thing. They did a study with like 90 some odd scientists, and 99% of them came back and said there was nothing like that up in the trails anywhere. And then one said there was an elevated rate of aluminum, but it wasn't anything excessive. So, super inconclusive.
Yeah. But the trails that you see are from what, the different temperatures?
Yeah, it's just creating a cloud. It's condensation cloud.
Yeah, and you watch it. I mean, it sticks together, but it breaks apart. You know what I mean?
Wind.
Yeah,
The clouds break apart in wind.
sure. And if you look at them, most clouds will stick together for a while.
Now, NASA does have a weather machine.
Okay.
Have you seen that thing?
I've not seen the NASA weather machine.
This is real. You know our boys from GT, the show you
Yes.
like? The main guy, he does a thing on it where he goes out to NASA has this machine that creates a freaking cloud and it rains.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, in like over like fields, like they can create weather.
That's cool.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
The next nuclear bomb will be like a Category 7 hurricane.
It just comes over. Right? It's it's natural.
Freaking gigantic tsunami.
But I don't think. Look, there's too many people that would have to be involved for that to be like a cover up.
That's the other NASA thing. Is there's too many people to be involved. Like somebody's had to have said something.
But remember what we learned about though from the moon landing conspiracy was that sure there's a lot of people out there, but there was only X amount of people that were privy to that information. Remember? So it ended up being like only like 70 people were privy.
Yeah, but you have like 700 flights a day.
That's what I'm talking about. So when you're talking about chemtrails up here, it's like you mean to tell me that every pilot, all of them, all the pilots are in on it?
And the answer is no. Because there's much better ways to do population control
Sure.
than in the plain sight of the people.
Yeah. No, I agree.
In the case of Titusville, they just put a ton of chlorine in our water and kill us off.
Yeah. Could certain planes or certain airlines be like dumping out in the sky? I mean, possibly. Like I don't know what you would dump and why you would do it out in the sky. But you are going to get the people that will come back to like crop dusting and be like, no, you're full of shit because they crop dust. Because I've heard that. I've heard people make that argument. That's a totally different thing. Crop dusting is, you know how close those planes are to the ground?
That's another thing. What's going to actually make it to the ground in a certain spot at 30,000 feet?
Why don't crop dusters go much higher? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are they so low? If
It doesn't make
if
any
it made
sense.
it to
It's
the
one
ground.
of the stupidest theories. After looking into it, it's about as dumb as Flat Earth.
Flat Earth definitely takes the cake, though, I think.
Flat Earth is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life.
We could do one on Flat Earth, too.
I don't need to, because it is so goddamn stupid. It's unbelievable.
Flat Earth is bad.
I have 2 friends that believe in it.
That's so stupid.
2. They also don't vaccinate their kids.
Yeah.
Those kind of go hand in hand. And now we have a measles outbreak in Florida.
Yep.
Supposedly smallpox is making a comeback too.
Really?
Good for y'all. At least I know my kids will be fine.
Smallpox. Can you get smallpox? You can get smallpox still.
I don't know.
I don't think there's a vaccination for smallpox.
Look it up. I know there is for measles. Because that's the
Measles, for
MMR
sure.
shot.
Well, I think wasn't chickenpox like an evolution of smallpox?
Shingles, I thought.
Shingles.
Yeah.
Shingles. Okay.
I had a buddy that had shingles. He said it was awful. Isn't shingles a sexually transmitted disease?
I don't know. I'll look that up too.
I guess I would know if I ever had something like that. And I didn't even ask you if you have your kids vaccinated. Mine are, because, I don't know.
Most of them. The only thing that we don't really do for specific reasons are the annual flu vaccines.
No, I don't do that.
Because
That's not a vaccine. That's bullshit is what that one is.
well, they're able to identify what they think.
They're shooting in the dark.
They're shooting in the dark.
They know.
They've narrowed it down to like 3 strands of flu that could be around.
I heard it's worse than that. I heard it's like 90 So you have a 1 in 90 chance. Those odds aren't good enough.
And you also have just as good of a chance of actually getting sick from the vaccine.
You know how many times I've gotten the flu in the last 20 years? One time. You know how many times I've had the flu shot? Never.
Yeah, I think I may have had the flu shot like twice when I was younger.
You're not going to die, not at a young age. You're not going to die from the flu as long as you stay hydrated and you're not retarded.
Yeah, the flu kills elderly, sick people.
Well, if you can't keep down water, if you're 30 years old
Yep.
and you die from the flu,
Yep.
it's because your ass was throwing up continually and you would not take yourself to go get an IV.
Which
it is preventable.
Yes. You can put a hose up your ass and get plenty of water.
You can take a shower and you'll absorb some water.
Yes. So it says the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, kept a stockpile of vaccine for emergency.
For smallpox?
For smallpox.
Well, smallpox kills 20%.
And it says that in 2003, the supply actually helped contain an outbreak of monkeypox in the United States. So, yeah.
No,
that's interesting.
Listen, I'm going to make some enemies because I got a lot of people on Facebook that are friends with me that are big-time anti-vaxxers. Here's my thing. And we never talked about talking about this, but this is something that aggravates me. Everything. Okay, look. Am I on? Is my camera on?
Yeah.
These right here.
Almonds.
These can kill about 20% of the population of the United States because tons of people are allergic to nuts.
Sure.
Right? Well, just like that, vaccines, there's going to be people that are going to die from it. It is horrible. I feel sorry for these people. I'm sorry that their children, have this happen. But every single thing, there's people that are allergic to sunlight.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, you're going to have this happen. To say that the government, they say this, that the government is trying to kill our kids through vaccinations, that is ignorant. They are not. It kills kids because some kids have a rare, problem with these things. But no one's out to try to kill them.
So this is a conversation I was having earlier with somebody when Nate was over here. We were having this conversation. And this is very deep. It's a very deep thought. But the idea here is I think that way too many people expect, especially because of technology advances, they expect perfection. Right.
But you can't with the human body.
Well, but my thing is, and I don't necessarily mean just the human body, but they expect perfection, right? Like, with the ability to look up things, why are you ever wrong? Or how could you ever be wrong? You get what I'm trying to say? So the idea is, in America, the fact that a vaccine can kill somebody is, like, mind-blowing. You get what I'm trying to say? They're like, how could that happen? How could a vaccine kill somebody? We need to be better at that. Sure, we need to be better at that. If people are dying, you still want to prevent people from dying. But, like, think about 100 years ago. What was the cure or the potential, think about all the diseases that were around 100 years ago that there were no cures for, no vaccines for. Measles, mumps. They killed people.
Rubella or whatever it's called. The R in the MMR.
Yeah. But you get what I'm trying to say is like, so we have come a long way, and yes, nothing is perfect. Sure, if some kid dies from a vaccine, it's sad.
But if you had the cure for AIDS, right?
Right.
And you could have it as a vaccine.
Sure.
Or cancer. Either one.
Sure.
So say it's a 2-part vaccine like MMR.
Right.
You got your cancer, AIDS vaccine.
Okay.
HIV. And you say 0.00001 of the population as a child is going to die from it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not going to give it to every child?
I need to know what my chances are that I contract it. Do you get what? But do you get
Cancer's pretty damn.
No.
7 out of 10 these days.
That's the point, right? So if you tell me that, let's look at AIDS for example. If you say you have a 1 in 1 million shot of contracting,
I think it's a lot less than that. But
sure,
yeah.
but let's just say you had 1 in 1 million shot of contracting the AIDS virus, okay? Or you had a 1 in 1,000 shot of dying from the vaccine. I'll take my shot with the virus. You get what I'm trying to say? But if you say
it's a 1 in 1 millionth.
that you're going
That's
to...
the vaccine rate right now for most
Right.
things.
But what I'm trying to say is if it's the other way around, and you're saying, look, you have a 1 in 100,000 shot of getting AIDS, or you have a 1 in 1,000,000 shot of dying from the vaccine, give me the vaccine.
Yeah, and the cancer one.
Well, cancer, like if you give me a vaccine that says, like, look, there's a very, 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 like 1 in
But
a
this is
million.
how prevalent measles is. Like, measles was chickenpox at one point. Everybody got it. It killed a lot of people back in the day. So to sit here and say, oh, well, there hasn't been measles. Well, there's a reason there hasn't been measles cases. We've been vaccinated, you
Yes.
dumbass. And it's just blatantly obvious. It's like if you had a cure for AIDS, right? And we had a shot for it that you had when you were a baby, so you never got it. And then the logic was, well, there hasn't been AIDS since the 2018s because now it's 2050 and we have a vaccine. Well, no shit.
Right.
But there was.
So vaccines, and again, I don't work for the CDC. I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything about this sort of stuff. But vaccines throughout the history of mankind have not been the solution, but they have been part of the solution, right? So, for example, like Ebola, right?
Yeah, which there is no cure for.
There's no cure for Ebola. But how do you not die of Ebola? Well, you try to not get the disease, right?
Contain it.
You try to contain it. So how do you contain something, right? You get what I'm trying to say? How do you contain an outbreak of something? Well, it's simple. If there's a vaccine, you vaccinate as many people as possible so they don't spread the disease. And then those who do contract the disease, you confine them, you put them in a damn bubble, and you let the disease run its course and die. Not the person, but the disease. You get what I'm trying to say? So the idea is it can't spread to people that have been vaccinated.
Well, think about this. That one person that came back with Ebola infected like 30 some odd people.
Dude, that shit pissed me off because they should not have come back.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You're doing the same thing by not vaccinating your kid.
No, I'm on the same page with you.
But there's so many people on board with that thing. It's because, listen, here's what I do understand. I don't want to seem like uncompassionate. I'm really not. But when it comes to kids, I do care. I get it. They're your kids. You want the best for them. But the best for them is not to get measles or mumps or any sort of disease that can be preventable.
Sure.
And to link it to autism.
But this goes back to my point where people expect the fact that it's 2019 and they expect perfection. They expect, like, you get what I'm trying to say? They expect in a world today, like, measles shouldn't even be a thing. Why do we need to vaccinate? Measles is gone. There's no more measles, right? Why should we even vaccinate our kids? It's a thing. I live in New York. I live in Texas. I live in the United States of America. I'm not going to die of disease like that. That shit's crazy, right? But it's not fucking crazy, especially if nobody's vaccinated. All right, 10 years from now, nobody's vaccinated. You know how you destroyed the United States? You freaking drop a bomb of measles on us.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like, come on.
It's kind of, here's my thing. So imagine you have a paver driveway, right?
Yep.
And for years, you've sprayed this paver driveway with weed killer.
Yep.
And you never see any weeds.
Nope.
But then one day you go, I don't feel like spraying it with weed killer anymore. Then you see one weed, and you're like, it's just one weed.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you got a shit ton of weeds. And then you spray it, and they don't die right away. It takes a little while to get it back down again. That's literally what we're doing.
My
we're
neighbor
seeing
and I...
the sprouting of the weeds. We got to get on this and get it fixed.
My neighbor and I refer to dollar weeds as herpes. And
They are.
When we go outside, every now and then, we'll see, like... So, I've got a neighbor on both sides. On this side, I've got next to nothing as far as dollar weeds are concerned. One of them pops up, and we freaking abreva that bitch. We kill it, right? A dollar weed pops up on the other side, I'm fucked.
Because they ain't killing it.
They're not killing it.
It's blowing in your yard.
So my grass looks like shit on this side because I'm constantly nuking it for dollar weeds. Where if he would have done his yard at the same time, it's fine. That's the same concept, right? I get the disease because he won't vaccinate.
Well, in this case, see, you physically attended college, right?
Yes.
So you had your MMR shot again.
Yeah.
Because in order to attend college, you have to take an MMR again.
Yep.
I did too. Cause
I got sick, by the way.
Dude, do you remember when you took it, it makes your arm feel cold?
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one that hurt. But
It hurt
you
bad.
can feel it come up your arm, and it's just cold feeling. It's
It feel
weird.
hard.
It's been 10, 15 years.
I remember it feeling hard. Like that area was like you can feel stuff in your arm.
But I mean, it didn't like put me down or nothing.
I got a little sick, but again,
Well, here's what I did because I didn't know any better. So I went and took that shot, right? And then Tyler calls me up and goes, "Hey, we're going to the fair tonight over there in the Brevard Fair, the big one." And
is that the
so
cocoa one?
it's down by the softball fields, Vieira. Now, so we go down there, and I always ride rides, and I'm feeling like crap while I'm riding the rides,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm going to throw up on the twister. And I call my mom, and I'm like, "What in the world is going on?" She's like, "I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to like think about getting sick." But she's like, "Those shots can make you get sick."
Yeah, but that's kind of what
Yeah.
happened to me. I was kind of I'm trying to remember where I was and what I did.
I was fine in 12 hours.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I remember it being one of those things where it's like, nah, I'm done for tonight. You know, like I was like, I don't feel well.
Well, the reason I bring that up is they said on the news that the measles that has come through now, if your measles shot was given to you prior to, I think it was like 1995 or something, that it may not work because the new strand is different. The one me and you had to go to college is fine. That one's up to date. We're good.
Yeah.
But it has evolved, and now the people such as my wife, it ain't going to work.
So here's the question then. Is she going to go get a measles vaccination?
I told her to go get it. I'm sure she will if she gets time.
Right, but so she's not opposed to it. She's not
No.
sitting here saying,
No,
I'm not doing that shit.
Here's the only thing we did different. So when they do the shots, now this is messed up. When they do the shots for kids nowadays, there's the one that insurance will pay for. That is a series of something like 6 vaccinations all at one time. Or if you pay for it with your privatized insurance and you pay for it out of pocket like I do, you can have it broke up to where you do one this month, one this month, one this month. So it's not a shock to your system. Like you're getting one. And that's what we did. I'm not against it. I just don't want them all at one time because I know that can make you sick.
I mean, but here's the other thing, too. What kind of sick are we talking about?
Well, my kids didn't get sick at all.
I know. What I'm getting is, are we talking about you're done for the night, like I said I was with my MMR shot? Or are you talking about, like, I'm going to the hospital and I'm dehydrated, I might die of a fever? You get what I'm trying to say? Because 90% of the time, it's a little nausea.
99.9999.
Yeah. A little nausea, you're going to be just
But
fine.
like with everything, it's like we got a note home from school saying Landon's class isn't allowed to have peanuts because one kid in the class is so deathly allergic to peanuts he can't even smell it.
Dude, I worked the concession
Can you
stand.
imagine getting in a fight with him? Like he gets older and you're like, hey buddy, F you. Throw peanuts at his face.
I would just eat peanut butter all the time.
Just kiss him on the lips.
I eat peanut butter all the time. It's like garlic to vampires. But I was working a concession stand for T-ball, right? You have to volunteer. So one of the girls came in there, young girl. She's probably like high school or something, and she helped us out because we were shorthanded and we didn't know what we were doing. So she helps us out, and towards the end of the night, she says, the only thing I can't do is wash those dishes. I did all these dishes. I can't wash those dishes. And I was like, laughing. I was like, that's fine. Thanks for all your help. She goes, yeah, I'm deathly allergic to peanuts. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing here working next to boiled peanuts?
Snickers bars.
There's literally boiled peanuts right next to her. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, it just makes when it's like that, it just makes my throat a little itchy. I just can't touch it and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm on to you, peanut allergy people.
Remember when I told you like how the hell did horses live in the wild? Like they're useless.
Yeah.
I feel like humans wouldn't be able to manage if we didn't have our comforts of living now.
Yeah.
If we had to go back to living in the woods, we'd die.
But look, this is somebody who's deathly allergic to peanuts, who knows how to operate around peanuts.
You know what? That sounded like something else.
I know. But you get what I'm trying to say, though, right? Is it's like, look, your peanut allergy, not my problem. Okay? I'm going to respect you, and I'm not going to throw peanut butter at your face.
I was mad at first because obviously my kid can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Stupid.
But kids are idiots, and they'd be like, oh, you're allergic to peanuts? And like wipe it on the other one.
That part
so
I get.
it.
That part I get. It's different than adults, right? Imagine working in a Imagine working for Google and you're like, oh yeah, we just can't do peanut here because some
No,
people are
Johnny,
allergic.
take your ass somewhere else and eat.
That's my point.
Well, a
It's
lot of
stupid.
people are allergic to strawberries, I found out.
Really?
Like a lot.
Well, they could send their strawberries my way.
Are you allergic? I'm not allergic to anything.
I don't know.
I'm not even allergic to freaking, what's, the plant that makes you all itchy. Poison ivy.
Poison ivy?
I can rub it all over me.
I felt like poison ivy got me pretty bad once. But today I picked a bunch of jalapenos from the garden, right? Picked a bunch of jalapenos. I cut a bunch up. I was pickling some of them or whatever the deal is. Well, I was roasting some of them on the skillet, and all of a sudden I start like sneezing and coughing, and I can't breathe. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Well, somebody walks into our house, and instantly they start coughing and stuff too. So I was like, what?
Oil it's releasing or something?
It had to have been. As I was cleaning them and cutting them and stuff like that, it messed me up. It legit messed me up. I felt like I was allergic, but I was over it after. I washed my hands. We opened the door. That's how I knew that's all it was because when you open up the door, your eyes stopped burning because all the...
I don't know what the deal with the onions are lately. They don't normally bother me lately. I've had watery eyes, but Morgan can't barely handle it, and it's been eating her alive.
When's the last time you sharpened your knife?
They don't need to be sharpened. They're Cutcos.
I would check to make sure that they still don't need to be sharpened because apparently the watery eyes and stuff like that comes from the splitting of the proteins, I think.
You know, if you freeze them, they won't do that. Like,
It's
just
possible.
a little while.
Yeah, it's possible. That and there's a couple other things. They say, so like if you're going to cut it, like just quarter your onions, like if you're just throwing them with like potatoes in a roast or something like that, cut them with the skin on. And then peel the skin off. You know what I mean? Then you just peel the skin off. Because when you're exposing it, you're allowing all the enzymes to...
Doesn't really bother me most of the time.
Most of the time, I'm fine. Every now and then, you get that one fucker of an onion. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
It's normally that red one.
Yeah. It's, but it's I can't sit there and pick an onion and be like, oh, that one's going to mess me up. I couldn't tell you which one was going to mess me up. But yeah.
Here's a funny thing. So steaks that are frozen at cheaper restaurants, whatever they use for a preservative will give me a headache. Right. And so I always know if a nicer restaurant is lying about their meat being fresh because I'll get a headache afterwards.
That's interesting.
And I've been to some expensive restaurants before where I've had like Bubba Burgers used to have whatever it is in it, and in fact they say they don't have it on the front of it anymore. They don't bother me anymore. But when I used to eat Bubba Burgers, or if I eat the cheaper brand now, they still have that preservative, I'll get a headache. It's a very light headache that I know exactly what it is because I don't get headaches like that any other time. So it's weird.
Janet gets that whenever there's like aspartame in a drink.
Really?
Yeah, so if somebody will be like, oh, try this lemonade or something like that, right? And it's like it's a low
Crystal
sugar one
Light or something.
Yeah, she can almost taste it right away, and but it's almost like an association where she like taste and feel it at the same time. She's like, yeah, there's aspartame in there, and they're like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, it gives me headaches.
If aspartame is a cancer causer and I don't get cancer, it's not a cancer causer.
Yeah, you drink a lot of that shit.
10 to 15 freaking sodas a day.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad.
I may have like one. Nah, it doesn't.
People think I'm joking. I'm down to probably 5 or 6 a day, but at one point I was a 12-pack a day.
Yeah,
no problem.
I think it's the lesser of two evils at this point, right? Especially when we're both trying to keep our weight in check.
Well, I drank diet for like 15 years. I don't like regular.
Yeah,
I honestly don't like sugar.
The sugary drinks really do bother me now. Like, they bother me. They hurt my teeth. Like, I feel it. You know what I mean? I feel the sugar, and I don't like it. I am a sucker, though, for those, like, what are the monsters? The Absolute.
Yeah, the Absolute Zero, the white one.
They have a new one. Green one. Have you tried the green one?
No.
Green one is delicious.
I like the white one.
The green one, you taste one sip of the green one.
The original was a blue and black one.
But that one is low. It's
Okay.
not zero. The original zero, I think, was the white one.
And that's aspartame. The white one's xylitol.
Xylitol, yes.
Which is not even unnatural.
No, xylitol is a sugar alcohol, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's made from a leaf.
Yeah.
It's like stevia.
Okay, so
I think it is stevia.
I know that sugar alcohols are different. The sugar actually passes through your bloodstream instead of being absorbed.
Well, I mean it more in the fact if it's not a chemical.
Oh.
Because aspartame's a dang chemical.
Aspartame's chemical. Yeah, yeah. And one of the biggest things with these artificial sweeteners, now this might be a conspiracy that we can look into or a scam of some sort, but the artificial sweeteners actually make you crave sugary things.
Don't believe it, because I drink it all day and I don't like sugary
But that's
things.
different. Like you said, you've been drinking it and you don't like a regular Coke, right?
No.
But so, for example, like a person's dieting and they say, I'm going to cut back on all the sweets. I'm going to start by switching from, regular Coke to Coke Zero. Well, the fact that they're now drinking something that has zero sugar in it, so now they're like, I can still have a little bit of sugar, and it's not as bad as that Coke. And then the artificial sweetener is so sweet that the regular sugary stuff isn't even, like, satisfying to you.
I've never, you know why I think I don't like, so I have two theories. I believe fat people are fat like myself because their parents made them finish their food on their plate. Now let me get through this. I had a whole conversation about this. So I was skinny all growing up, and I maintained skinniness all the way through college and everything else. It wasn't until I got older and my metabolism slowed, But the thing is when if you give me a plate of food, right, and you give me rational portions, I will eat that and I will be content, and it won't be a lot of food, right?
Yeah.
Typically, a fine dining restaurant gives you a modest amount of food. They don't pile it on like a Chili's or something.
Or they allow you to purchase the add-ons like a la carte.
Right, but you don't eat a whole lot. And I think half the reason you're happy when you leave is you're not overstuffed. You're just satisfied. You don't normally get that because when you go to a Chili's, you overeat or something like that. But point is as an American, we're always told, sit here and finish all your food. So when I see this giant plate of food, my brain goes, well, you got to eat all that. And I do. Every goddamn time. I'll be full half the way through, but I'm going to finish it.
Struggle with this pizza?
Yeah, because it's there.
It's there, and I don't want to waste it.
Right. And it's ingrained into us. And Morgan, my wife, to whoever has not seen her, she is very thin and very in shape. She eats all the time and probably eats more than I do. But when she eats, it's small portions, but it's all the time. Meaning that, and her parents never made her finish a plate of food. If she didn't want to eat, she didn't have to eat. And so now my kids, it drives me crazy because they don't want to eat their food. But I'm like, look who's the skinny one. Look who's the fat ass. The fat ass was the one that was forced to eat his food, right?
Yeah.
But another thing is I was always given sweets whenever I wanted when I was a kid. They were always available. So it wasn't like a big treat for me. Like most kids that always want sweets and whatnot, it was like a treat. Like they couldn't have it all the time. It was always in my house. Yep. Never wanted it. Landon, same way. It's always in our house. Never touches it. And if you give him like a whole Kit Kat bar, he'll eat like one snap off of it and he's done. Yep. Same with me.
My kids are the same way. You give them a whole big bag of M&Ms, they'll probably have like a small little handful and they're done.
But you, on the other hand,
I'll probably eat the whole thing. But it's a treat. Like the last time I had candy was, who the hell knows?
When you were growing up, though, was it available? And I mean daily available.
I don't think daily available.
See, I think it's for people that it's like a reward in their mind, like that sticks psychologically.
Yeah.
So like you aren't just eating it because it's good, you're eating it because it's like, oh, this is a treat.
Oh, I definitely view candy as a treat.
Yeah, see, I don't view it as a treat.
Yeah, I definitely view candy as a treat. And the only reason is because even like in college, right? So I remember being like a broke college kid. I'm not buying candy. There's other things I need to spend my beer money on. You know what I mean?
Pizza.
And beer. But you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like the rare occasion that you did have candy or something like that, you kind of appreciated it. I was so broke when I had my first real job in Miami. I was so broke that on payday, I would go, I think I told you a story, I would go to Little Caesars and buy 2 pizzas. I would go to Little Caesars and get 2 of the $5 carry-out pizzas, and I would put them in freezer bags. And that was my lunch for the week. Right? I'd have 2 slices per day.
You were meal prepping.
I was meal prepping with $5 pizza. And then I would go to Publix, because there was a Publix right next door, and I would buy whatever small amount of groceries I was going to get, and I would get one of the Twix king size bars. So it's 4 Twix. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, and 4 Twix. And I would put them in the freezer, and I'd have one every other day.
It's funny because everybody that knows me knew I grew up pretty well off as a kid. But then I got kicked out, so I got to realize what life was really about. It was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. But I had the experience. I don't know if I told you this, why I quit smoking the first time. Because I quit for like 8 years. And then I started smoking again. And then we got, pregnant with Camden. I obviously didn't get pregnant with Camden. But decided to quit again. And now 7 years later, 6 years later, haven't been smoking. But I walked into the 7-Eleven with full intention of I was going to buy a pack of cigarettes. And back then, I think I made like $700 every 2 weeks. And now, thinking back on that, I don't know how I survived. Like, I don't. Like, rent, electric, because I was on my own, eating. No clue how I did that. I mean, that wouldn't even pay for rent now. Not even close.
Yeah.
So,
my paycheck in Miami was, I'm trying to remember, it was like $658.
yeah, I was $700 every 2 weeks.
So that was after taxes and all that sort of shit. So live in fucking Miami. I lived in
And that was more than minimum wage.
Yeah.
Because minimum wage back then was $5.55.
Yeah, it was low.
Yeah, I think I was making like 8 or 9. But anyways, I walked into 7-Eleven, I remember, and I pulled out my wallet, and I didn't realize I only had like $6 until Friday, and it was like a Tuesday. And I was like, oh my God, either you buy some bologna and some bread and some ramen noodles, or you buy cigarettes.
You bought cigarettes.
No, I bought bologna and ramen noodles, and I quit smoking.
I can't wait for the day that they come up with that magic pill that lets you just be in shape.
They did. It was called Fin, and it gave a lot of people heart problems.
Well, then it's not a magic pill, but it's close. Because I would fuck up some ramen noodles.
I
like ramen noodles.
My uncle.
Do you like ramen noodles?
I love ramen noodles. I add stuff to them.
Well, you like the ones in the package or the cup?
Package. I don't like the ones in the cup.
No.
Freeze-dried peas weird me out.
Fucking peas. You don't need that shit in there.
That's not a pea. That's a marble.
I cook the ramen in the package, right? I cook it really good right before it's ready, and I drain a lot of the water, and I add a whole nother packet of the seasoning.
See, I add soy sauce. I add jalapenos. I add mushrooms. I add carrots. Like
I would do the soy sauce and like some teriyaki chicken or something.
I do all sorts. You can do the pre-cooked chicken in it too.
Yeah.
And because you don't want to do raw chicken.
I once was somewhere where I could not, and this is 100% true, I could not make the ramen for whatever reason. It was out somewhere. But I had
You ate it raw.
a pack of ramen. Is there a guitar playing in my head?
I hear something. I don't know what it is.
Pretty sure Janet's watching the movie right
Okay.
next to us. But I remember having the ramen, and I think I was really drunk. And I took the packet of seasoning, just poured it all over the dry ramen, and ate it like a cracker.
I bet it wasn't bad.
It wasn't the worst thing in the world.
I've eaten a lot of spaghetti raw.
Yeah, spaghetti's tough on the teeth, but yeah,
I
ramen
used to do it as a kid all the time.
The ramen was much easier to eat. I'm getting ramen.
Like now?
I might go to 7-Eleven and buy ramen.
You don't have ramen?
No.
Everybody has ramen.
No ramen.
I have ramen.
You have ramen?
All the time.
What?
Why not? It's like $1 for 1,000 of them.
I thought you're not allowed to buy that once you make money.
Are you kidding?
I thought that was the same as like
Listen,
an EBT card.
Just because I came up, I don't move out of the hood. I love me some junk snacks. Dude, freaking
You still eat
SpaghettiOs.
ramen?
Yes. SpaghettiOs with the freaking meatballs in it is my
hot
other
dog.
favorite.
The one with the hot dog.
I don't know if they make that anymore.
They do.
They do? I like the
So here's the deal.
I eat it out of the can without heating it up.
We buy
Botulism.
hurricane supplies, right? So every year, I update some of the stuff, which means you got to buy canned goods. They eventually do expire, right?
It's like 10 years.
Well, certain things. You'd be surprised, like the SpaghettiOs and stuff like that. It's a lot quicker than you think. I think it's only like a year.
Then I should be dead.
No, but here's the deal. We're out of power, hurricane, I'm still eating that son of a bitch. End of the world, apocalypse, I'm still eating it. You know what I mean? It's better than nothing. But so we'll buy them, and then my daughter actually loves the SpaghettiOs with the meatball and beefaroni, the original beefaroni.
I like beefaroni.
She doesn't like any of the variations, but like the original beefaroni. And just the other day, I was going through the cabinet, and I said, you know what? So we have some stuff that's about to expire. I'm going to write it on my list to re-up before the end of the summer, all the canned stuff. And then I was like, I'm going to eat one of these. Dude, I sat down, and we watched, it was Season 8, Episode 2, Game of Thrones, and I ate cold beefaroni out of a can. Nope, the ravioli.
They're so good out of the can.
They're delicious.
Yep.
They're delicious because the sauce is, like, sweet.
My dad taught me that.
Drink
My
it a
mom
little
used to
bit?
get so mad at him.
Dude, and now with the Pop-Top cans?
Yeah.
Come on.
What happened? And I asked Morgan this. What happened to the automatic can opener that every single one of us had when we were younger, where you just go boop and it'd go and open up the can?
You talking about the standing one? Like that would be
I had the one that was under mounted, but
So-
everyone had an automatic one.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
We literally just threw ours out.
Yeah, but I mean, like as a whole, I wouldn't even know where to buy one.
They get gross. That's what happened to that.
Remember, it had
They're
the little dangly magnet.
Yeah. And when we get so disgusting,
My mom cleaned like crazy. So.
dude, no, it would get like, because it's like a greased gear kind of a thing. It would like cake up. It was disgusting. Everywhere I go that I've seen one, they're gross. They're fucking gross.
Ours never was, but that's because my dad was super OCD, and my mother was always cleaning. And then we had a cleaning lady too.
But you can clean them. Don't get me wrong. You can clean them, but they would never get fully cleaned because it's an electronic device.
I don't know. I don't remember mine being dirty.
Dude, the regular can
I
opener,
remember
you
my
just
friends
soak in hot
being
water
dirty.
and scrub it.
I remember my friends would.
And I'm not
dirty.
trying to say that there's like, shit on the can opener, but it would just get that fucking gear would get gross. Everybody.
So that's maybe where it went.
That's where when people are like, doesn't make sense. People just get pissed off.
Well, and that, and how hard is it to do this?
It's not very hard. I've been using, it's so funny. Do you get mad when it's not an automatic? Not when it's not a pop top?
No, because I got a really good opener.
I've been getting a little pissed off when they're not pop tops.
I'm so cheap. The metal opener with like the two little skinny ends, like the crap one that barely opens anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I bought when I was single. And Morgan finally went out and bought a very nice, like high end one.
Yeah.
Changed my whole world.
Easy to penetrate.
No, it's just boop, right through it.
We have one. I'm trying to think. I can't remember the brand. It
Normally
might be
they're
Cuisinart.
Farberware.
I think ours is Cuisinart.
Yeah.
If that's how you even pronounce it. But I remember just the other day, because it doesn't have pop top. It might now. I'm not sure. Tuna. I don't know tuna having a pop top.
Some of them do.
They do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've always opened a can of tuna, and that's only thing I think we've used it for. Because like we were just saying, like the SpaghettiOs and stuff. Dude, Ava might have it once a month.
How long ago did that hurricane hit us? Where it like actually hit us?
Was that Matthew?
2-3 years.
Yeah, probably almost 3 years.
I ate tuna from that hurricane the other night.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of our canned goods are from then.
I'm still here.
And no. I mean, but think about it. So yeah, like 2 years. And then I'm like, all right, it makes sense. We've been in this house almost 2 years.
Morgan thinks I'm crazy, like because the other night, and I do it all the time. I ate a piece of ham. I'm like, that one's getting a little squirrely. Like because it's got that twang to it.
That's the only thing I don't like.
And I'll finish it.
That's the
I
only
don't
thing
care.
I don't like. And not the only thing. There's probably other things, but that is one of the only things I do not like, my friend. And that is when the lunch meat starts to get slimy. I'm sorry. That's where I draw the line.
I don't care.
I draw the line there.
I ate a moldy honey bun, for God's sakes.
I have eaten it's the worst. Like, so right now I could tell you that there's a bowl of Cheez-Its that Blake had from earlier this afternoon. Right? I know where it is. Right?
Those don't go bad.
Nah, but they're not going to be very crunchy when I get to them after this show.
But you're gonna eat.
I'm going to try. But that's the point. Is you have like one or two of them, and you're like, God dang it.
See, that's another thing. I don't even know why I'm that fat when I think about it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because I'm not a snacker.
I'm not a snacker in that I'm going to go get my own bowl of Cheez-Its. But I see his, and it reverts to food being left out. I don't want to waste that. I'm not throwing it back in the box because they're fucking gross.
Oh, update on things that make you fat. So I had my first IPA beer,
Yeah.
In a while, because I had a theory that I thought it was either shrimp or beer that was causing my gout flare-ups.
I remember that.
It's not the shrimp. I've ate shrimp a couple times. I drank one IPA beer at that grilling festival, which was awesome, by the way, and I felt a twinge in my foot.
Ugh.
I was like, that's what it is. It's the freaking IPAs. Because I drink, Ultra, nothing. It's
That's
something about the hops. So,
Right.
yeah.
There it is.
No more IPAs for me.
Hey, this was supposed to be a conspiracy theory, and we finished conspiracy theories at like 33 minutes in, 45 minutes in. We're at an hour and 10 minutes.
That means we're awesome.
And we just went on a fucking rant about food.
And vaccinations.
And vaccinations.
They needed to hear the vaccinations.
They did need to hear the vaccinations.
Because I feel like the conspiracy theory people are the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
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 They needed this.
All right. There is one thing, though. I remember I talked to you about it. There's one thing I said I did want to bring up because, so here's the deal, and everybody's infatuation with conspiracies. Because there's no answer. You get what I'm trying to say? At the root of it, there is no answer, so it's something that you can play forever. It's the video game that has, what do they call it when you can play a video game forever?
Donkey Kong.
No, but it's those like open world video games
Yeah.
that you can play forever, right? Like Grand Theft Auto, you can play forever.
And it was like Loch Ness before I told you the guy admitted he faked it.
That's what I was getting at. Was that was one of the bigger conspiracies, and again, people, oh well, it ended up being not true. I'm like, yeah, but that's the thing, is a conspiracy is a conspiracy until you prove it untrue.
Or true.
Yeah, true is even harder though. But whatever. But that's the point. It is what happened to Loch Ness.
It was like a little toy boat animal head thing.
But how? Like, was that the intention?
Yeah, that was the intention.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying. So that was the intention, was to create this thing, and so the only reason why I asked is I didn't watch what happened with the guy.
And I don't remember because most of this stuff, like I said, I get in a wormhole and I'm half asleep watching this stuff. All my research comes at 12 o'clock at night when I'm like, all right, time to go down the wormhole. Here we go.
So, but in short, he comes out and he says, wasn't real. But why? Like, wasn't he, like, not doing well, or?
I don't know.
I forget. I felt like he was going to die. He's getting old.
We need to start a conspiracy of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I found Atlantis.
Well, so he comes out and he says Loch Ness is a hoax. This is the deal. And people get pissed. You know what I'm saying?
They wanted to believe.
They wanted to believe in a stupid fucking dragon that lives in one lake.
Yep. That's full of salt.
I don't know, man. So that's my point. And so do you look at the people that are big on these conspiracies, the same people that get mad when a conspiracy is proven not to be true because they just want something. They want something.
These are the same people
They
that
want
believe
that endless...
aliens are anal probing people.
But they want that endless video game. They want that video game that they can play forever, and that's a conspiracy.
Donkey Kong. It's unbeatable.
Is it really unbeatable?
Yeah, it freaks out if you get to the last level and you beat it because it's supposed to be unbeatable.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
What? How did I miss that?
Look it up.
I'll look it up, but I mean, I should know that.
No, you can't beat it.
Huh.
You didn't watch the freaking movie Pixel?
No.
With the freaking little guy from Game of Thrones is in it. He's got the cheat codes.
No, but what was the other one with the game that goes bad? Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, that's me. I suppose I look just like him.
You do look just like him. Wreck-It Ralph is like if you and Ryan Reynolds had offspring. And it grew up.
My humongous head
to
and
be
arms.
a video game, yeah. It's got Ryan Reynolds' hair.
He's built just like me. He's got a huge... You should pull him up. He's built just like me. If you see if you can get a full body shot of him.
All right,
like, everybody that is close to me is like, you look like Wreck-It Ralph. But, no, he's got long arms, large upper body, long torso, humongous head, short little legs.
Is Wreck-It Ralph 2 out yet?
Yeah. The Wi-Fi one? Yeah. There he is. There you go.
Here you go.
Yep, that's me. He looks just like me. Look at short little legs. Short little legs, humongous head, no neck. It's definitely me. Same hair.
Yep.
Same shitty look on his face.
Kevin is Wreck-It Ralph. All right, everybody. This went longer than I was anticipating, but it's good. I'm glad we got that one out. To summarize it, something that is referred to as Bigfoot did exist. We think the Gigantopithecus.
I can't even say it.
I've just been looking at it for like an hour so I can see it. We think that that's what Bigfoot really was or is. We don't really think anybody's seen it recently, like really seen it. Chemtrails, we think, are kind of bullshit as far as being brainwashed by the government. What was the big thing? Population control?
Yes.
Just fucking zap every dude in the nuts.
Weather manipulation.
Oh, I do have my opinion. You want to know my opinion on population control?
What?
If I'm ever the president, it's one of the things I'm going to run
abortion.
on. No. Every year, we have National Kick an Idiot in the Nuts Day. At some point, we all know the same idiots.
But what I said, you don't believe that abortion is population control?
Abortion is population control.
It is straight up
I'm saying what I'm going to run on is the fact that because we all know the same idiot. So one day, that idiot might get
idiocracy doesn't actually happen.
No. We get 100 kick in the nuts, and then eventually you just stop reproducing.
I know 4 people I need to kick right now.
No, you only kick one person. So if we both know the same person and we both think that they're an idiot, you're getting 2 kicks in the nuts.
We're going to split those kicks up.
So being the village idiot means that you're going to not reproduce.
I feel like there's going to be one person in Titusville that's going to get kicked a lot.
Well, eventually, because all the normal idiots are going to die out. They won't be able to breed anymore. Like, here's the deal. Smart people are out making money, and idiots are at home making babies.
Yeah. That's why people generally are getting stupider.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
What a way to end the show.
Yep.
Fucking negative Nancy.
And to all the stupid people that listen to us, here's a kick in the nuts to you.